Welcome to Phil and Ted's Sexy Boomer Show. I'm Ted Bonnet.
I'm Phil Proctor, and my God, we just got in here under our lovely producer, Donna. We're giving her a heart attack. You know that.
Well, that's the magic of radio.
See, the secret, the thing is, folks, we have a breakfast with our guests before each show so that we can kind of, get everything going,
Get everybody lubricious.
Yeah, get it right. And so we've run over from the Good Neighbor restaurant into our spacious studio here, and our specious studio.
Yes.
This is our guest, Shadoe Stevens. It's a repeat, folks. No, it's not a repeat show. It's
not
a
him
new
again.
show.
Good Lord.
With a repeat guy.
Yes.
Right?
Shadoe Stevens.
Who will never repeat himself because he's moving forward all the time.
Always.
And we're going to talk, in fact, about the next manifestation of mental radio.
Yes, but who is Shadoe Stevens? He was a 11-year-old boy from North Dakota who just loved radio.
Yep.
Yeah, I was swept away. Out there with the cattle and the wheat and the folks that can't be beat.
On the wind.
And then he came to L.A. and changed the history of radio and has been rewarded as such. You are now an inductee into the Radio Hall of Fame.
And that was a great moment.
You started K-Rock. I mean, we got a lot to talk about. But
oh, boy.
Your history in radio is so fundamentally influential, and what you did to create the halcyon days of FM, when FM was wild and unexplored.
And unpaid.
And unpaid.
And unpaid, thank you. Let's bring reality into it.
Yeah, but that's what made, I made a living not getting paid in radio.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that I found when I did stuff at radio, mostly comedy, was they didn't pay me. But then as a result, they couldn't tell me what to say or not say.
Good point.
And that was a huge, huge advantage.
Freedom.
That's why we've made Pacifica our career.
Yes, right. That's right. Poverty pays. Poverty pays. That's for sure.
You're still at it with this concept called mentalradio.net. Does that have anything to do with Upton Sinclair's novel from 1930?
It's part of it. When I started it, it was creating a whole mythology. And the mythology is like all conspiracy theories. It's all based on truth, but truth slightly tilted and exaggerated. And so you don't know which part is true. Like
what is reality?
What is reality, in fact? And so it goes back to Tesla, 1893, with wireless energy transfer.
Yes.
And what he discovered was that he could power the entire world with a singular kind of technology. But he also realized, and what you don't know and you don't hear him talk about, is that it transcended the physical world because all things are vibration. And therein, he's able to influence behavior and the mind. And he realized this was so controversial in 1893, he could never go public. So he started a secret organization of optimisticals. And he drew in people like Salvador Dali and Douglas Fairbanks Sr., and well-known people at the time. Albert Einstein became part of it.
I've heard of him, yeah.
And it was, they would be there at key moments in history, like Roosevelt didn't really say, we have nothing to fear, but fear itself, it came from one of us.
Yeah, really?
Yes. And Norman Sinclair was part of it as well.
An Illuminati?
Yeah, it was a hush-hush organization.
Apparently.
But why?
To raise the vibration of the world,
a secret
one thought
society
at a time. Change all life as we know it for the better. To be there to make sure the world doesn't destroy itself. There are those among us. And then they find out that they go back to a Shiva temple in India, and in the catacombs deep below found
a tape
tablets.
recorder. No,
not tape recorders. Not then. I laugh in your general direction. No, in fact, they found scrolls. And these ancient scrolls written in Tamil reveal that there have been optimisticals among us since the beginning of time. Look it up.
Beautiful understanding.
I saw that call to action on your website, and I did look it up, and I couldn't find anything.
You did. You found wireless energy transfer, I am sure.
Well, I did do that.
Okay, now you know the secret behind the scenes.
And those scrolls were kind of like the early Edison cylinders. Isn't that interesting?
Very much, yes.
Right,
and Edison knew about the scrolls and therein created the cylinders in their likeness.
Isn't that interesting?
It's so true.
I bet.
Too true to believe, too true to be true. You be the judge.
Initially, then the dark forces took over, obviously, and snuffed it, and this became top 40 radio. and then high priests of the darkness like Lee Abrams came in and homogenized all the markets.
Yes. The homogenization happened and destroyed what was a really good idea at the time.
But somehow you have broken through this and created something called mental radio.
Yeah.
So what do you got going? You heard about the giant lizards and goats?
Yeah, taking over cities.
Got a blood hornet, size of a bat. Got him down in Argentina, doing a little ransom.
The size of a bat? You got it here?
Yeah, it's out in the truck.
I followed him outside Whalen's kit and caboodle past the dumpsters to Malone's indigo blue custom lowered 1950 Chevy 350 fuel-injected pickup with flames on the hood and just the right amount of pinstripes. And there it was on the real camel-colored leather seats, a bell jar so big it took 2 hands to pick it up.
Fins, teeth, and stingers.
Stingers? Like more than one?
3 rows of teeth. Look in there. And lots of stingers.
He dropped the jar. I looked down at the hornet shark with its bat wings flapping and saliva coming out of 3 sets of teeth, and it opened its jaws and flew at my face. And suddenly I left my body and I could see what was happening in slow motion. I could see it for what it was without being afraid. And I thought, wait a minute, it's not like it's a rhinoceros. They're big and they run. I could see it coming at me, and it wasn't a shark, and it wasn't a bee. It was a freak, and it was the size of a bat. So I smashed it with my fist. And it was stunned, stopped in the air, confused. Then it fell to the ground with a thud. And I stomped it with my foot. And I felt good.
And so do we.
Yeah.
That made me feel good.
This is an excerpt from mentalradio.net. Your history in radio, going back to some of the greatest radio in L.A. And here, all these decades later, you're still at it, and you're doing something way out there. It's Firesign-esque.
It's surrealism. You've embraced surrealism and in our heads.
Very much
It's the best place
inspired
to
by
put it.
Firesign Theater.
Absolutely.
It's why I adore you and grovel at your
Well,
feet.
that's very sweet. Well, get up, please. Come on.
No, please. It's in my culture.
Let's move that microphone up a little bit
Touch his
before you
feet.
there.
You know?
Yeah, no, but it's true, and it's very inspiring to hear. Many people have tried to create the kind of surrealism that we did, but we had terrific production values available to us at the time, and you are doing this from your own home.
Yeah.
Basically?
Yeah, I do all the production and all of the writing.
It's astonishing. I'm so
lot of the
impressed.
Do you have any time to do anything else?
Well, for the 3 years that I've been doing this, there's now 26 episodes, so there's like 12 hours of stories and lots of variety and a lot of different things that are catching on. There's up to 300,000 downloads now, so it's kind of cool.
Tune
to
in,
keep
folks.
promoting
You'll
it.
love it.
So this is mentalradio.net.
You can get the free app on both Apple and Google Play, and you just look up Mental Radio as one word. You'll see it. The logo is a light bulb with people running across the light bulb from one clip to another. It's kind of fun.
This is very visual audio, if you will, and but you're also a visual artist as well.
Visceral audio, too.
Some of your artwork to me looks like Escher, just very conceptual
thank you.
work. It's interesting when you've done something for so many years and so many decades, you get to this level of mastery where you can really expand into some highfalutin consciousness. And
Highfalutin, there's a word that I love. Every time I carry notebooks with me all the time. You can see that I've got one right here. It's like I hear a word and go, I haven't used that yet. Highfalutin is good.
You get gobsmacked by words.
Gobsmacked, exactly, with flutter and tilt. And,
mentalradio.net, in a nutshell, as prosaically as possible, can you explain what this is?
I started Mental Radio because it was March 1st of 2020. I knew that we were going to be shut down and people were going to freak out, and it seemed like the end of the world. And I thought, I've got to write something funny and uplifting. And what would that be? And I started by writing the mythology and then the mindset of optimism. Optimism, it's like Viktor Frankl, tragic optimism. Optimism in the face of all evidence to the contrary. We have no choice. We have to be able to nurture an optimistic point of view and a positive kind of goal-oriented work. He also said...
To survive. Viktor Frankl wrote about the Holocaust and how people survived.
In a concentration camp on scraps of paper that went on for 4 years, and then he wrote the whole book in 9 days. It's remarkable. And he said, man is not meant to find equilibrium. Man is at his best when he's struggling and striving toward a freely chosen goal. And it's up to each of us to find that goal. And these goals change, but you must find a goal.
It will keep you alive.
It will keep you alive.
Justify your existence.
And very timely today. The situation politically, socially here in America is very perilous. And that's just here. I mean, it's much worse in other areas of the world. It's why people are flocking here from every country imaginable.
That's why we're so flocked up right now.
Oh, nicely put. You are good. You haven't lost any of your full-tilt momentum.
I'm a bad boy.
So that would be a definition of what you call mental radio, genetically altered humor.
Yeah, well, it's humor that, because it goes fast and doesn't give you time to laugh, you get, there is a quality that happens that is laughter buildup. And you may laugh later for no reason and wonder why. And this is what we call a laugh back.
Nice.
Don't forget the world is ending. Don't forget to be afraid. Don't forget to keep pretending you got it made. Your best years are behind you, so sit alone in your room. Watch a little TV and wait for impending doom.
Watch a little TV.
Gotta try to be happy, be happy.
In the mental radio.
Gotta try to be happy, happy. Gotta try to be happy. That's all.
Tiny Tim. That's the Tiny Tim and Ian Whitcomb and
we're doing a new version of that for the theater. That is
for the theater.
Yeah,
now, will you explain yourself? What do you mean for the theater?
Well, as it turns out, about 8 months ago, Gil Smith, who is the president of the Montalban Theater, which is a wonderful theater near Hollywood and Vine.
Montalban Theater.
And it's like a nearly 1,000-seat theater, all completely restored.
Used to be the Henry Fonda at one point.
It was. And he called me and he said, one of the things that got me through COVID, sitting alone in my house, was listening to metal radio on earphones at night and laughing and feeling uplifted. What do you think about doing it as live theater?
Wow.
It's the greatest idea I ever heard in my life. I don't know why I didn't think of it, but do you think we can? And he goes, yes. What I'm thinking is giant video screens, multiple giant video screens, and live performances, live music, live band, live singers, 360-degree surround sound. So all of the things I do in stereo
in your head
imaging that happen in your head when you listen on earphones. Or on speakers. It all kind of works because there's always movement. The things spin around in your head and come from behind you. And we're going to do that in the theater.
Oh,
so we've been working on it now for about 8 months. And we're doing new music. There's 12 pieces of music. We're calling it a musical comic book.
That's good.
And it has all kinds of really inventive ideas. It's really exciting.
It's going to be a major installation, though, isn't it? For a major investment.
And they're in
the
process of looking at 16 or 18 new projectors and how many multiple screens and how to configure it because it'll not only fill up the main stage, but to the left and the right of the stage out of your basic. Because you're looking at the stage, but it'll also be happening on the left and right. And we can do things with visually where we can break screens into quadrants of 8 screens and having different things, or use a lot of text humor, because a lot of my writing is all like words you don't hear all the time, pep fortified optimism and things like what. Mm-hmm. But when you see it as well, we can do things with pulsing visuals and
it'd be like watching an opera and seeing the translation.
Except that it move from maybe left to right and go bum, 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 bum,
bum,
nice.
It sounds a little bit like the Sphere in Las Vegas.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
We're thinking that would be
that
ideal.
That kind of scale or scope.
That scale would be amazing.
In a different kind of.
But this is designed to be an immersive experience with sing-alongs and songs like "Don't Forget the World Is Ending" and other songs songs like
what
"I'm eating
fun.
pizza for the Lord" and
I'm eating pizza for the Lord.
yeah, it's a gospel song. It's
Hold
really
the
fabulous.
anchovies.
You're a conceptual artist, and you're working all mediums. And it's really an interesting time for all of that because, like Phil said, the sphere, for example, we're entering this new era of the spatial computer experience. And I did the demo at the Apple Store at the Vision Pro.
Oh, yeah.
And it really is a glimpse of the future. And it's interesting how someone who comes from audio gets it. It's the most flexible, most powerful medium because in order to comprehend it, you have to stimulate your visual cortex. You have to, so by nature, it's interactive. And you can really take people places because they're going with you. I mean, that's what Firesign did.
That's what Firesign
and
did.
it seems to be what you're doing now. You're even taking it a step further where you're actually creating visual elements to this
you're actually gonna
fantastic
bring this
approach to audio.
To sight.
The whole thing, both content and execution are nonlinear in nature. And so you're hoping that this all boils down to an emotional experience that raises spirits.
Yeah, well, that our whole goal is we want people leaving the theater exhausted and smiling and needing more, wanting to come back and do it again because everything goes fast. And like I said, it's that whole
You just let it wash over
sense
you.
of humor. It's like individual sounds might be funny, but there's no time to laugh because you're propelled forward in the story, and then the stories don't even last long, and then it changes into another story, or it changes into a piece of music, and there's a sing-along piece of music, and all of these things are like the one I was telling you about, where you get people to hum and then whistle. And then laugh to the melody, and who's got a kazoo? And then we're going to have a couple dozen people with kazoos in the audience that'll be playing kazoos because it's so funny. It's so dumb.
What fun.
How do you account for the need to take a breath and digest a little bit before you consume more?
Well, yeah, there is delayed laughter buildup, and that's something we're concerned with. So there will be an intermission, and you will be able to get, lubrication.
Oh.
Yeah, and there's mental lubrication as well. Of course, we'll be feeding you from the moment you enter the theater.
Giggly
to the moment
backup.
you leave.
Has it been underwritten by who's underwriting it?
No, because it's so complicated, as you know. Anything like this
Technically
is
complicated.
Really,
It's
it's
expensive.
technically complicated, and it is hard to explain at the beginning.
Yeah.
So, coming up with the idea that it is a musical. Music, it is because there's 12
in
pieces
essence,
of music.
right.
And but it isn't it isn't My Fair Lady. It isn't like anything you've ever seen before. And it incorporates giant screens with a lot of visual, with all of the characters and everything have been created. And I created all of them using things that I designed myself or used artificial intelligence, AI art. And the characters are fantastic. They look real, but real as if designed by Mad Magazine.
So you're saying that this is not the live component. These characters will be projected
They'll be on the
as
screens,
animation on
and
the
there'll be
screen.
animations and found footage and text humor and like kind of an assault of imagery that goes along with these fast-moving stories performed live by voice actors on stage, backed
wonderful.
up by a
smell a
band
job.
with trombones and tubas and percussion and
It's
really,
a circus.
It kind of is a circus.
Yep. It's got that feeling, doesn't it?
Wow. And Brian Eno, the musician, has a documentary that was at Sundance. It features him. The way they're touting this production, when you see it, is that no showing is the same. It moves. It's more amorphous. The story changes order and stuff. So every showing of this documentary is different.
Oh, nice.
Nice. I mean, it seems like we're
How do they do that?
Well, I would imagine.
How do they do that?
How do they do that?
I don't know the details,
Do
but I
that.
would imagine it's a computer
Computer-generated.
It's a computer-based exhibition, and that the program can fluctuate, and its timeline.
Yeah, these are
Well, you see these
experimenting with
immersive-
new technologies.
Yeah, like the Van
that are
Gogh
available.
exhibit.
Oh, yes.
And that was immersive, but it doesn't tell a story.
Right. That's
and
right.
we are all story-based human beings. We
Yeah.
like stories, and we
Sit
want
around the old
resolve.
fire.
We want surprises, and all of our stories all have surprise endings. So they're little twists of fate, and some of them are ongoing, like series, like The Adventures of Guy Good and Gabby, a Western, where Guy and Gabby are heading across the desert, hoping to stop the gloom before it hits the big cities. And suddenly they're surrounded by screams, and the screams are, "Why me? Why me? Why me?" And they've got guns, and they are the Wymies. They're victims who look for someone to blame and go mad. They're zombies with guns.
I see that on the news every night.
What neighborhood do you live in? Wait a minute.
And they're screaming. Run, for the love of God, run.
Hey, Biff, bitchin' house catching rays.
And there she was, Coco. He quickly flexed his six-pack and smiled back. How could he forget the barista from Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf in Tarzana and that fling in the restroom beneath the hot breath of the hand dryer?
I knew I'd find you. Love the Billabong board shorts. You look so hot. Take a walk.
He gazed at her cat-eye Maui Jim Pua Kenny shades, ample bosom and blonde hair wafting in the wind, and flinched. He looked back at the house, lucky that Piper, the love of his life, always slept late. He had to get Coco out of here. He jumped off the deck.
Dude, sick, rad move. Oh, you look so good.
Yeah, thanks. So, what's up?
I knew you and me were inevitable, Biff, when you ordered that triple-shot low-fat latte, hint of vanilla, 1 Splenda, and it added up to 666. I freaked. But when I did the life path and destiny on it, I realized that the root number was 6 + 6 + 6, or 18, and 1 + 8 is 9.
Look, you're a beautiful woman, but I have a girlfriend.
I did the I Ching on us. It said 9 in the second place means perseverance brings good fortune. So I will persevere all over you, Biff.
Oh.
What's her? Give me her number, quick.
And where do you see the image of her? She's so gorgeous. But Piper looks like was played by my daughter, Amber. But who looks like Beyonce. But this girl looks like a Beyonce kind of character. She's so beautiful and so successful, she only has one name.
Piper. Coco.
That's
Piper.
the thing.
No, Coco is the barista from Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf in Tarzana.
All right, that's right.
Keep up, Phil. Keep up. It's very difficult.
I'm trying.
Very difficult. You're
It's
listening
hard to
to
keep
Phil
up.
and Ted's Sexy Boomer Show. Our special guest, Shadoe Stevens, is here. This comes from your roots. I mean, you've obviously always have had this.
My first passion was drawing, and my mother encouraged me. And so I did it really well, and she went, "Oh, my God, you are so talented." So I was obsessed. And then when I was 8 years old, my dad bought a tape recorder, and I learned how to tell stories in the tape recorder by recording a little thing, pushing pause in record, adding a sound or a music piece, and then stopping it again, and then telling more of the story. And I'm obsessed.
I did something similar.
You did?
To that, yeah.
Okay,
I bought sound effects records, which were on 78s, mind you,
right.
from Major Sound Effects, it was called. I found it in like the phone book or something, and I went up to the 4th floor in this old office building, and there was all of these records categorized, car crashes and wars and water and falls.
It was
and things.
magic.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
I used to search out sound effect records, Sam Goody's in New York, and you go to the big stores in the city, and they would have that big
They
of
had
a
a
catalog,
section,
and
yeah.
they have a sound effects section. To me, that was like
I
finding
know.
gold.
It was
And I think
really
it's funny how we all went through
exciting.
that. I was given a reel-to-reel tape recorder when I was about 9 years old, and I have the first tape from that
Really?
Christmas morning. And then immediately I went up and started playing radio station with it, and it seems like we all did.
Yeah, we all
Isn't
did.
it interesting that I'm very visually oriented. When I build audio, I always have a
Image in your head, right?
Yeah, I like not being confined by picture. I've done some movies, and I appreciate that, but I always found that radio was by far the most expressive and fastest and cheapest and economical medium to tell stories.
And the most involving. You could involve people.
Here you are, a visual person from the get-go, but you found your footing in radio.
Yeah, well, radio just became, because, after I built my little radio station in my house, and then it was discovered on a local station, and they put me on the air as the world's youngest disc jockey, and I was 11. So I was doing it. There I was in the big time.
Yeah.
I was in a real
Did you have that
playing
voice at age
45s.
11?
No.
Really?
No, in fact, even in college, I was terrible. I could play you stuff, you'll laugh out loud. It was so bad. I was trying too hard. I've always been a victim of my own enthusiasm. So my greatest asset is
What
I
a
have
nice way to put
enthusiasm.
it.
No, but it's true. It is true. It's like what I lack in intelligence, I make up for with passion, and I'll just try. And I will show up early, and I'll stay late because I'm got to do it. And so
and you're
I was
learning.
an art major in college for 3 years. And I wanted to be an illustrator, but I was putting myself through college with radio. So then in my fourth year, I thought, I don't know if I'm going to make money as an artist, and I seem to be doing okay in radio. I had to focus on radio. And so I went to the University of Arizona for 2 years, and that was majoring in drama and journalism. So I'd learn how to write and learn how to perform. And then radio took off. I went to Boston for a year and got real successful. And then I came to L.A., and I've been here ever since.
You were the number one rated personality at WRKO in Boston.
Yeah, well, the whole station was huge. It was 33% of the audience, 12 and over, listened to WRKO.
Wow.
And I was among a great team. And they actually taught me how to be a professional in the big time.
That's where you learned.
That's where I really learned.
I always found
started
radio to
getting
be
good.
sort of a safe space, too, because you could go on the air and really do anything, especially if you were at a Pacifica station. And then no matter how ridiculous and how far out on a limb you were willing to go to figure things out, you could always walk out of that building. No one knew who you were.
Yeah, right.
Especially if you were doing
Well, that's
characters.
also that's a curse and a blessing because
Yes.
I knew a lot of radio people who got really entitled and really full of themselves and stopped trying and stopped working hard because they'd arrived and everybody loves me and I know how to do this. I'm number one, 3 to 7 on Y92. It's like, you're scary. It's
Yeah,
like, what?
but they're performing as DJs. This is a whole other thing we're talking about. This is performance art.
Yeah, when you're storytelling, it's a whole different deal. When you're acting and having to write scripts and things.
So how did this fit? How did this jibe with your history here in town? Because I think people should know who've been around long enough to understand what your impact on radio in LA was in those halcyon days of FM with K-Rock, and which was just an incredible station.
Are you listening, boomers?
Yeah.
Some of
So-
you may remember.
What was the opportunity in your mind when you did all these breakthrough crazy things on the radio here?
Well, it started. I was at KHJ in Los Angeles, the biggest station on the West Coast, one of the biggest in the country in history. It was what Tarantino put in his movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, yeah.
That's all KHJ. That was where I was.
And
at that
what
time.
year was this?
That was like 1970.
Okay, early 70s, right.
And I was also put on television as Steve Allen's sidekick and his announcer. I was the Ed McMahon
I
of Steve
didn't
Allen.
know that. I used to watch Steve Allen all the time. That was
Yeah,
you?
This is like, well, I was in one of his, one of the iterations of the many Steve Allen television shows.
What a genius.
And so I at KHJ, they wouldn't promote me because they said, we don't know whether you want to be on television or radio. I went, are you insane?
Are you a dancer who sings and acts, or are you an actor who
they
sings
promote
and
each
dances?
other. We're like, what are you talking
Right.
about?
What are you talking about?
And they wouldn't. And I said, don't give me a raise. Just promise me that I'll get the next promotion. And fine. And they wouldn't put it in a contract, so I quit.
Was this an AM station?
It's an AM station.
You were very brave about that. In your history, you quit a lot of times, didn't
Every
you?
time.
But
You're a man of principles.
I just said, look, I am not going to base my life on your whims. I'm telling you I'll be here, and if you can't give me that any kind of guarantee, why am I here?
You know, it's funny. That's
So-
something we all three have in common too. Really, about me. That's what the freedom of Firesign Theater was about. That nobody telling us what to do. Ted has also expressed that so many times. That's why you found comedy.
Yeah.
Isn't it? So that you could be the jester in the middle of all this seriousness.
Well, as fate would have it, it was I quit. And then I was almost immediately hired by KRLA, which was their main competition. And I went there, and then I was there, and I was happy. I was going to Art Center School at night, and I was happy being in art. And all of a sudden, and I said, we're not playing good. We're playing the same music as KHJ. We should be playing album music. It's what everybody's listening to. And I did all this research, went to Billboard magazine, went into the general manager. I said, we should be playing this music. Here's why. And he fired the program director and made me program director. I was 24.
Wow.
And was like, I had to quit Art Center. I was like, I've got to figure out what works. And what worked was figuring out what is good music. and how do you play it and make it compelling? And then it was hiring the greatest people I knew. B. Mitchell Reed, Brother John Ragland, the voice of God. All of these people that I hired were all amazing. And then we went on the air and did radio theater. It was launched with, it was called Phase 2. And it was, I wrote and produced 50 jingles and wove them into a storyline that was everything you could ever want and more, KRLA. It was Rock with a Grin. And it was, and then we did wonderful contests. KHJ came on the air and did the Jesus Christ Superstar contest. And I thought, that's almost sacrilegious. Like, good God.
Yeah.
So I put
indeed.
up the great KRLA Soup or Star contest. 7 stars are floating in 7 kinds of soup. Name the star and the soup therein and win $10,000 in cash. And so every hour somebody was trying, and it would be, and the sound bed was, you'll love this, was Hosanna Superstar, Hosanna Soup. And they go, Johnny Carson, bean and bacon. It was the funniest contest in history. Everybody listened. The whole city was listening, and we beat KHJ. So then, and you'll love this as radio history. Management decided that they knew better, and what we needed to do was this, and this. And I knew that it would fail, and I knew I'd be blamed, and so I quit. So just put me on the air as a personality. I'm going to go back to art center school. And so the new guy comes in, and I'm doing what he wants, and I don't care. It's like, fine, I like being on the radio. And then he calls me in one day, and he says, I got to let you go. And I laughed. I went, that's good. I had good ratings. And he goes, no, I'm serious. You're always walking around here smiling. I know you're cynical about what we're doing, and I can't put up with that.
You're kidding.
Are you insane?
Well,
What is wrong with you? And I talked to him for 2 hours, and he stuck with it. So then I go into the accountant, who glares at me. He looks at me across his desk, and he says, I hope you go out and spend this money in the next 2 weeks, and then you don't know where your next penny is coming from. Maybe you'll come to the meaning of life.
Really?
What's the meaning of life, Don? He goes, management is God. I'm like, what?
Management?
He goes, it's true. And he banged his finger. I tell the story the same way all the time. He banged his finger on the desk. They put the food in your mouth, thump. The roof over your head, thump. Management, thump, is thump. God, thump. Went, I feel sorry for you. I've got to go now.
Well, there's nothing quite like the level of management on radio.
I'm telling you, I mean, it's inherent. It's something about the invisibility of radio that seems to give people a strong sense of entitlement.
Well,
and
it's easier to
aloofness.
fire somebody who's just a voice, isn't it?
It's just a voice.
You know, what's interesting, though, statistically, it appears as though young folks are discovering radio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but is radio now, or is it you're listening to your device?
And it's also, the radio. And that's the nice thing about podcasts and the freedom that modern technology has given us people, because you have a chance to do something original if you just put in the time. And it's all about, as you know, it's all in the writing and the ideas and the production and the attention to detail. And people have a chance to do that now, where it wasn't when we were growing up. It was like impossible.
That's right. You got a studio in your hand. People are making movies.
But the collective experience of radio, I think, has started sinking in again. Because when you were having the great days, the bright days of doing something totally cool and
reaching
popular
people,
it was a happening.
Hey, listen, I can tell you an experience. I went down with my friend Bill Cates to get my hair cut in Huntington Beach at the Beachcombers. Don't ask. And on the way back, we ran into that thunderstorm that nobody expected. And we were listening to the Tim Conway show on KFI, and he was talking about it. It was he said, I know it's out in Glendale now, and it's moving towards it. And Bill was saying, this is what I love about radio. It's immediate, and we're all experiencing it. And local radio talks about the experience.
It's designed for localism until it was homogenized by consultants.
Yeah, and corporations owning and taking out the competition. Competition destroyed radio.
Yeah.
It's like if I own everything, and then it's making a general manager in charge of 5 stations and a program director in charge of 3, and people doing voices for between the music, and it's like
listen, in the Firesound Record radio now, we had the Starland Vocal Band sing, "If the records weren't free, we'd be all news." Right?
Welcome to Pure Nature. Do you have an appointment?
No,
That does not matter. Nothing does.
Yeah, well, I'd like to look on the upside. So this is a philosophy store?
Philosophy? He thinks we sell philosophy? Nein! Here are some paper booties.
Paper...
Booties to cover your shoes so you won't track in the dirt from wherever you come from. We have booties in Germany, only ours are better. Ours are bootier.
Oh, hey, buddy.
He's not a buddy. He's a schnauzer.
Okay, he's got a name?
Schopenhauer.
Oh, good little Schopenhauer. Good boy.
He's not a good boy. He's a dog in a life of drudgery, on his hands and knees lapping kibble from a dirty bowl.
I love that piece. Oh, gosh,
I love that
funny.
piece, too. And we did this thing because Schopenhauer is maybe the most depressing man that ever lived, and hilariously depressing. And so, I was reading all of these amazing quotes from him, and then we wrote one that was, "It is all humdrum and ho-hum. Life is vapid, filled with grunt work and struggle. We are an accidental birth in the flux of becoming perishable."
It's even better in
True
German.
Schopenhauer.
Maybe it's sardonic, but you can always find humor in anything.
Yeah.
And I've got a lot of friends that are...
If you're looking for it.
Well, they're freaking out about this election.
It's horrifying and really hilarious.
Really
hard to
hilarious.
look away.
Really hilarious.
Very funny.
That thing that happened in the Academy Awards when he tweeted that, it was perfectly written as a joke, and everyone in the audience, including me, thought it was a joke.
Yes,
and
I
then we
did
look
too.
it up and go, "Oh my God, it's real."
Yeah.
Because
And
he has a what's the word, a vindictive. He has a thing against
Everything?
a grudge.
Everything that isn't him?
Cases.
Oh, yeah.
And most importantly for humor, his mental decompensation is rapid
yeah.
and truly hilarious.
Really hilarious.
And it's just like, folks, sit back, enjoy. Because,
It was
you know,
actually-
it's here. It's whether you want to enjoy it or not, it's here.
It was highlighted today during the hearings that I was listening to this morning about the Biden and Trump's misuse of confidential material. And one of the Democratic female senators, I guess, senator or representative, probably senator, played video clips of all of Trump's malapropisms and
great.
lapses of
Oh,
language.
yeah.
Yes.
They're hilarious.
They're hilarious.
Oh,
you know?
my
Obviously, what you're doing is relevant to this disconnect that's going on.
Everything I'm
culturally.
doing is relevant to the mind. The whole thing is an allegory.
Mind health.
And mind health and the way you look at things.
Not
and
Mein
nurturing.
Kampf.
No,
Mein health.
not that.
Not Mein Kampf, mein Head.
It's not Schopenhauer.
Loved mine, hated Kampf.
No, it is nurturing, what's right and being grateful for everything that's beautiful in your life and thinking about it instead of letting the mind be predisposed to being afraid and to go down the wormhole into despair, weakness, fear, sickness, and death.
Now you're a meditative man too. Now,
Yeah,
how
I
did you
meditate.
find that inner peace and that place to be in yourself, in your spirit?
Well, I started, I was initially introduced to transcendental meditation because of the Beatles, and I thought that sounds good for me. And then I learned, and I had the experience of a transcendental state and really liked it. So I did it for a number of years. Then I wanted something more specific, and I learned about Vedanta, and I was really drawn to Vedanta.
And what is Vedanta?
Vedanta is basically the oldest spiritual teachings on earth based on the Vedas. And then it was Self-Realization Fellowship, because Yogananda basically is exactly the same, where they celebrate the harmony of religions and not the dogma and not all of the mythology.
Right.
It's like, here's what they all have in common, which is believing in an incomprehensible, formless absolute. And whatever you decide to call it, the infinite what or God or any Shiva or something.
That which
What
cannot be
works for
named.
you. That which, cannot be talked. And I learned deeper kinds of meditation. So I've been meditating for 50 years, probably.
So now, do you feel that what you really are doing is drawing God, the God within you, or expressing the God within you out of you?
I would like to think both. I think that it is the action of learning to meditate and focused meditation, not guided meditation, not hypnotherapy.
Meditation with a goal.
And it is focusing your mind on a singular thing that usually starts with the breath, that incorporates mantras and visualizations and things. But what happens is you go into a deep sleep-like state in which, when you get really deep, your body feels like the skin of a soap bubble, and you are immersed in pure consciousness and pure awareness. And you realize that the deeper you go, the deeper there is to merge into. And that is not only full of hope and full of living and possibilities, but it is a place where you try to consciously connect with the source, with the creator, and go, show me what to do. Show me what to do with every breath, with every beat of my heart, moment by moment, hour by hour, day by day, waking and sleeping. I don't want any responsibilities.
Surrender.
Consume me. Awaken me to your highest ideal. That's the only place I can be. I don't want powers. I just want to do something good.
Yep. So higher consciousness is the only source of salvation, really. For
I don't know how people live without
for
it.
the Earth's
I honestly
consciousness.
don't.
I don't either.
Reducing your awareness to energy.
It's like we're a spark or a bubble of consciousness in an infinite sea of awareness. And what I want to do is merge with the light that lights the light behind the light that all there is.
That's why your name's Shadoe.
And that's he who walks with the light. That's
Rumi said, "We are not a drop in the ocean. We are the ocean in a drop."
Nice.
As the puma and lion tore apart a horse belly and the leopard and cheetah fought over a beef carcass, Gabriel licked the last flick of barbecue off his cheek, threw them another pig knuckle, and started to leave the lion enclosure. He hit the keyboard 477 GRR, but instead of the mechanical whir of the gate unlocking, he hears.
Weird.
And he tries again.
Oh, for God's sakes, 4777.
Please dial ** on the keypad to reset PIN.
You always hit 0.
Good morning. My name is Octavia. How can I provide you with excellent service today?
You can unlock this gate right now. The lions are going to finish their dinner in about 2 minutes.
Certainly. Please enter your PIN on the keypad.
Yeah, it's not working. That's why I called you.
What's not working, the PIN or the keypad?
Could you just open the gate?
Of course. Please enter your PIN on the keypad.
It doesn't work.
The keypad or the PIN?
The PIN!
I see. Would you like to reset your PIN?
I'd like you to get me out of here.
Of course. Please enter the most recent PIN you remember on the keypad.
The one that doesn't work?
The keypad or the PIN?
The PIN. I need you to unlock the gate.
It sounds like you'd like to unlock the gate. I'm sorry, there have been too many attempts. You've been locked out. Technical support has been notified. They will arrive between 12 and 2 p.m. Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Help me. Somebody's got to help me.
That's an Edie McClurg character. Who are these wonderful actors?
The guy trying to get out is my writing partner, Joshua Weinstein. He's also the guy who did the German.
The German, you told me that.
He's terrific. He's a great voice actor, and he's a really brilliant writer. And J.C. Wendell, who was on Dave's World with me for 4 years, is an actress that I love. She can do anything.
Oh, that's wonderful.
She's got one of those, like you, she's got one of those minds that can go, I can hear a dialect and I can copy it.
Yeah.
And what do you need? I said 1940s, His Girl Friday, newspaper bullpen, and she ad-libs in the character, and I was like, oh, God.
Isn't that fun?
So,
my God.
It's so good.
What great! Well, you've assembled an incredible cast. Your stories are amazing and fun and adventurous and meditative.
Yeah, we do get into meditation. There's a thing in the middle of it. We go to the crown. Basically, we go to the Outlook Chamber, and it's described as like with stained glass windows and so on, with the light coming from above, and sit and talk about whatever the topic of the episode is. One of my favorites is space, chapter 16. Mm-hmm. If you go to Mental Radio, start with chapter 16 because it's out there. It's
Good.
really funny and fast-moving. And it talks about is the space, the infinite space that we can't begin to comprehend, is what's the space between our ears? What's the space between thoughts? Do we really know? And is it and what makes it really remarkable is that the fact that there is infinite out without, that there may be infinite within.
That's right.
And how do we tap into that infinite within? Here's a glimpse. And so we do a 90-second sample.
I must say that this entire conversation has been a prime example of how you can be in two places at once when you're not anywhere
At all.
Nicely put.
Shadoe Stevens.
We're all bozos on this bus.
Thank you for coming back.
We sure are.
Thank you for coming back,
Yeah,
Shadoe,
Shadoe.
and being with us
Wonderful.
again.
Love you guys.
What a
Wonderful.
wonderful conversation. You're listening to Phil and Ted's Sexy Boomer Show. I'm Ted Bonnet.
I'm Phil Proctor, and
I'm
God
sexy.
willing,
I feel sexy for
Yes,
having been
sexy
here.
Shadow, right?
Yeah.
And God willing, we'll be back again next
Oh,
week.
yeah. We'll
but
be
we
back.
don't know exactly where.
Ooh,
Tune in
chill
and
out.
find out.